it was like a campaign speech. If you watch him do his campaign speeches, he seemed quite relaxed. He's up there just riffing. An open mic, hot mic, catches J.D. Vance saying to Speaker Mike Johnson, God, 90 minutes. This is going to be long. Well, it was more than 90 minutes. And the president had much to say. Let's see, first month back, and the NPR fact-checked him. Wanted to see if NPR had fact-checked Biden, but they said they would. I don't know if they did, but it doesn't matter. There's a different standard for this guy, because don't forget, he's Hitler.
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation.
Most people, that's right there is there's a fact check. What does it mean, most successful in history? Okay, anyway.
By many.
By many.
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it.
There you go. Okay, fine. He goes on, this is part of it, I'm kind of jumping around here from the sound. Talking about Doge and all the cuts.
Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to...
By the way, I added all this up. I added up all these numbers.
...provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
I'm sure that nation doesn't appreciate that.
Yeah, really.
All right, anyway, they're loving him. He goes on for 2 minutes and 34 seconds and adds it all up, put it all up there. So I took all the numbers, and there's more than this, but what it ends up being was about $22 billion, right? As he says, this is all the cuts we've made. So then I look to see, well, the federal government spends, if we're going to cut all that, the federal government spends $16.1 billion a day. So when you make all these cuts, you basically have cut 2 days out of what the federal government spends. So you're really kind of nibbling around the edges. Not that that's not good. I don't mind the nibbling. That's fine. But, put it in perspective. Yeah, it's good that we're not wasting your tax dollars overseas on a bunch of junky programs that we don't even know if it works or not. But he goes through the big list. The crowd loved him. I mean, the left side of the crowd loved him, but everybody else seemed to really hate him. Anybody to the right, those were the Democrats were sitting.
Once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
It was like a pep rally for the winning team, and then having the losing team have to sit there while the pep rally's going on.
Yeah, but the astronomical achievements he speaks of haven't been achieved yet, right?
I think he was trying to make a sort of some kind of veiled reference to COVID, I think.
Okay.
Right? But you get in trouble. Superlatives get him in trouble. The biggest, largest, greatest, that's the thing that gets you in trouble when you fact-check the guy, and that's the sort of stuff that he likes to just kind of riff on there. So, and people, here's the other weird thing. He's not presidential. Okay, whatever that's supposed to mean. You cast somebody in a movie and the guy seems very presidential. We like him. He's presidential. He speaks and he seems presidential. He's not. He never has been. He never will be. Whatever your illusion is, what presidential is, how you're supposed to sit, how you're supposed to talk, gesture, all this sort of stuff. So it doesn't fit your sort of set image of this. He's not going to change. This is the way he communicates. The thing about Donald Trump is what you see is what you get. So here is the guy. And people are still mad about it, right? And they're not going to allow him to get anything because, well, you've been told for 2 or 3 years that he's Hitler or a fascist or a threat to democracy, blah, 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 blah. So everybody's sitting there to the right of him. Those are the Democrats that were there with their signs and their pink sweaters and stuff like that, refused to stand for anything. Even when he was pointing out people that were up there in the gallery, which I had a problem with it. Ronald Reagan was the first guy to do this. Bring somebody in and then use that human being as a way of saying this person was affected by, in a positive or negative way, by something that the federal government did. Got it. And we've taken it to a whole nother level, which is, hey, here's a guy. He's a kid. He's got problems. You know what we're going to do for you? Here's an award. We're going to make you're going to be a Secret Service agent. And you have this horrible stuff, and we're going to get you into West Point, right? It's like the Oprah Winfrey, and you get a car, and you get a car kind of thing.
It's like props.
Well, no, yeah, props, but people use props all the time, right? Kissing babies, and, here I am standing with this person, you testify somebody, you want to humanize the element. I just have a problem with and we're going to give you that. You had a problem with this, we're going to give you this. Let's see what else. Oh, this is bad.
Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old.
And they cut away to a picture of Nancy Pelosi sitting there. I thought that was bad. I'm only kidding. They didn't do that.
It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly.
Okay, here's this thing. He didn't actually say, and they're getting Social Security checks. It's a data entry problem, as they used to say at IBM and Hewlett-Packard, garbage in, garbage out. So it is the way the Social Security system, the way the computer program works. They have these big, giant blocks of ages. It doesn't mean that we're sending a check to somebody who's 130 years old. He goes all the way to the end. Somebody's like 300 years old. They're not getting a check besides, but he said they have these ages. These people are in there. Right. But it doesn't mean they're getting a check. And I don't think he actually said they're getting a check. His point was, look at all the data that they have.
Maybe he said they're getting a check. Roll the tape.
In the very beginning or near the end?
Towards the end.
All right, hang on there, Joe.
3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149.
Hey, that's the KIRO radio listener.
And money is being paid to many of them, and we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does, and it really hurts.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of them are getting paid. I think it starts with the earlier numbers, not making an excuse for a sloppy way of being able to talk about this, but it just gives people, more an opportunity to go, and fact check them on this. What he did was he went and spoke about the things that he has an 80-20 power on. The 80-20 power is this. If you take a poll of the American people, you're going to get 80% of Americans are in favor of closing the border. Bang. Bing. He wins on that one. When it comes to saying there are only two genders, you're going to get 80% on that. When you're going to say that we're no longer going to be censoring, no more stopping people, the more support for the First Amendment, you're going to get 80% of the people on that. So he hammers away at the things that he knows that he has the strong poll numbers on. Then when you get into the rest of the stuff, I have a problem with the fact that he is basically not giving much power to Congress. Only twice he mentioned something. He wanted Congress to help with the, the take it down now or the get it out of here.
The AI, the deep fake stuff?
Deep fake stuff. Yeah. He wants Congress on that one, and I think he had one other thing he wanted them to do. But the problem, the Republicans are sitting there standing up and cheering about cutting waste, but they also voted for a continuing resolution. They're continuing to spend money that we don't have. So, don't be cheering. You're not scoring any points because you're not responsible enough for the purse, right? So if the government is spending in $6 trillion and they're only taking in $4 trillion, well, then you have a problem every single time you cut a check. So again, the president is using the executive order to be able to push and go right past Congress on a whole bunch of stuff. And then other things, he's like, yeah, by the way, you guys handle that. You guys work on that one. I'm going to keep doing this. The success that he has, yes, he's closed the border down. Yes, he is getting rid of DEI. 3 cheers on that. Critical race theory, good. All that stuff, get rid of it. That's fine, dandy. That's good. Get rid of it. This other stuff, it gets foggy and messy, and he doesn't seem to necessarily care, the criticism that's coming when he's using sloppy language to express ideas that are not exactly crystal clear. Got it?
Second most successful month of presidency ever. No, first, right? Second was Washington.
Yeah, I don't know I got that one. I don't know where the polls are on the thing. The media continues to blast away at him because they have to, because don't forget they've told us for the last year that he's a fascist. Elon Musk looked nice. He was dressed up in a suit. That was great. But they had a bunch of signs saying that Elon Musk should be fired or whatever else it is. Again, it's one of these things where if you just hate the person and then you hate everything the person's doing, if they're doing something good, like cutting down the number of people that are sneaking into the country, trying to save you money, they don't want to give you any credit for it because they just hate you so much or whatever that is that you're doing. That's just the way it is with human nature. Can't get around it. No way around it.